Hey guys, so welcome back to Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair. Let's carry on where we left off. We're about to head up the trial for Ibuki and Hyoko's death. Let's see if we can uncover the killer. Here we go.
Wait!
Hey jerk, hold it right there.
Monomy's such a dumb child.
Don't get in my way. You're just a dumb little sister who's short a few brain cells.
Hey!
My brain works just fine.
Hey!
Monokuma, what did you do with Nekomaru? He's still missing, isn't he? I see. So you've come to avenge him.
That's...
Avenge? That sounds like he died. Sounds like you say. Oops.
Anyway...
Since Nekomaru is unfortunately unavailable today, let's just say he's absent. What the hell? No, you have to be present at these class trials.
Bye-bye!
Now then, I gotta go first.
I won't let you!
Hold on, I won't let you escape.
Hey!
Did you hear what he said? Does that mean Nekomaru actually is dead? No. They wouldn't kill him off screen, would they?
Huh?
Don't worry about it. There's no way Nekomaru's dead. He's just trying to piss us off.
Damn it!
Of course he's not dead. There's no way, not in a million years.
Well...
More importantly, it's best if we worry about ourselves for now. If something happens here, every one of us except Nekomaru will die. What? Why are you so excited about that?
How about it?
Who knows? Maybe I'm just looking forward to seeing poetic justice prevail. Is he suggesting that Nekomaru's the killer here? What are you saying, fiend? You'll find out soon enough.
See?
Then let's go.
I'm gonna do it!
Alright, let's hurry up and get this over with. Yeah, you're right. Alright guys. Well, I suppose I have to talk to everyone first, since the escalator has not arrived yet. Oh, I haven't been helpful at all. I couldn't even figure out an estimated time of death. I'm sorry, I'm such a useless piece of trash. Oh, Mika. Hiyoko, it must be my fault after all.
Well?
Then, I must learn the truth behind this murder most foul. Now then, let us proceed. Yes, I've got some more theories that I'll share with you guys in a moment, but of course that will wait until trial prep.
Hey.
Let's go. There's no time to waste. Actually, I need to select the hidden spot, don't I? I know it's sad, but we need to move forward. And then, we need to end this once and for all. I'm with you.
Jeez.
I already figured this, but it's best if we don't rely on Monomi all that much. She's just saying stupid things that'll make us even more confused. Maybe we should shut her up for good. But she's the one who's defeating the Monobeasts. Rihiko, we need her, unfortunately. And we need to find out her identity as well. Hey, what are you whining about? Hurry and get this over with already. And then we can greet Coach Nekomaru with open arms when he comes back.
This is bad.
Hey, what did Monokuma mean just now? Don't tell me Nekomaru's already. Don't get distracted by Monokuma. We need to focus on the class trial right now. I know, but...
Fine.
It's about time I showed my serious side. You have a
Let's
serious
make
side?
history.
Jeez, how troublesome. But I suppose I can display my true power for the sake of our two fallen comrades. Nagita's standing all the way by himself. Just as I thought. This particular incident. Oops. We can continue this later. Right, Hajime? What do you mean? What's wrong with him? He's even creepier than usual. Alright. Let's go. Don't know what Nagita's on about now. He might be still suffering from the after effects of the despair disease. We stepped onto the escalator and ascended toward the gaping maw of Monokuma Rock. And that's when I suddenly noticed it. I noticed our lined up silhouettes keep getting smaller and smaller. But I can't turn back now. If I turn back, I won't be able to press forward. There's nowhere to go but forward. 10 of us left. About to be 9. And when everyone was inside Monokuma Rock. Blast off! Actually, we're going downwards. The elevator began its deep descent as usual. Oh man. But nobody said a word. The entire back of the elevator is like empty now. As we stood there trying to figure out what to say to each other, the elevator descended deeper and deeper. Guys, we can do this. And when it descended as far as it could go, it finally stopped. The elevator doors opened slowly, almost tantalizingly so. Light poured through from the other side, eroding the boundaries of the darkness. And I walked into that place. Ah, it's all castle-y now. My, it feels pretty toothless with all these empty seats. Well, 2 people got killed at the same time, and Nekomaru's not here either. That's true, there's actually only 9 of us at present.
Hey!
Is Nekomaru really not participating? If he's alive, you should invite him.
No!
Why bother?
That's...
What?
Well now.
Now then, let's begin!
Yeah.
It's the beginning of the long-awaited class trial! Please enjoy it to your heart's content. Oh, I will, I'm sure. And so the curtain to the 3rd class trial was about to open. Ibuki Miyoda, the ultimate musician. She was really loud, but she was the mood maker of our group. Exactly, Hajime. When I was with her, all of my pain and suffering just seemed to melt away. I hate it when someone pleasant like this just goes away. And then Hiyoko Saionji, the ultimate traditional dancer. Just from looking at her adorable face, you'd never know she was actually selfish and foul-mouthed. But she was trying to change herself, and she was desperately trying to come to terms with Mahiru's death. The person who killed those 2 was among us. So many red portraits are going to appear now. I definitely can't believe it. Wow, especially this one. But whether I believe it or not is irrelevant. Nekomaru's still in color. Unless I figure out the truth, I won't be able to escape from this hell. That's why I must find out. No matter the cost. For our sake. For our friend's sake. For Ibuki and Hiyoko's sake. I will find you. And so, the curtain to the 3rd class trial was about to open. This life-threatening trial billowing with hope and despair has begun. Alright, it's an orange color scheme this time, the despair disease, and 2 consecutive murders. The thought of a 3rd class trial fills the remaining survivors with despair. Why would the disease be a motive? Why did Ibuki hang herself? And why did Hiyoko's body suddenly appear? Survive the class trial, where mystery begets more mystery. Oh gosh, let's hit some skills, be right back. Alright, I've set our new skill, let's quickly check it out before we move on to Truth Bullets. It is Mood Maker, easier to shift mood to your favor, effective during Rebuttal Showdown, since we know how much trouble we have during those. Alright, here we go, let's review the evidence and I'll name our suspects before we head on inside. Starting with Monokuma file number 3. There are 2 victims this time, Ibuki Miyoda and Hiyoko Saionji. Ibuki Miyoda's cause of death was a crushed windpipe as a result of choking. There are no other external injuries. Hiyoko Saionji's cause of death was blood loss, due to her throat being slit by a sharp-edged tool. It appears her death was instant. I wonder about that. Blood on the soles. There were bloodstains on the soles of Ibuki's feet. Rope used for hanging. The rope used for hanging. According to Mikan, there is no doubt that the cause of Ibuki's death was her hanging herself with this rope. So, no one strangled her, no one used like a bat or a pipe or something pressed against her throat, right? She hung herself, no doubt. Motel room key. The key to the motel room that Hiyoko was staying in. It was buried deep inside her kimono, so it was pretty difficult to retrieve. Scrap of thick paper. A thick scrap of paper that was stuck to the baton lighting. Music venue curtain. A black curtain at the very back of the music venue stage. It is not wide enough to reach the sides of the stage. It looks like it was brought from the supermarket, and not something that was originally here. Was there a curtain there before when we first came to the island? I don't remember. It's been so long. Stepladder. A stepladder was found on the music venue stage, tipped on its side. On its left side, a slight bloodstain can be seen. Candle. A candle was found at the front of the music venue stage. Looks like the dim light seen in the surveillance camera video was actually light from this candle. Doubt it. Surveillance camera unit. A surveillance camera unit put inside the music venue for communication purposes. It's been smashed to pieces and no longer works. I really wish we could have tested the other one in the hospital to see if this was just a fake unit that got destroyed here, one that was not fine-tuned by Kazuichi. AC temperature. The AC was cranked up to 86 degrees Fahrenheit. It was extremely hot inside the music venue because of that. Smudge on the floor. Evidence that a bloodstain was wiped off the floor of the music venue's stage. Since Ibuki had no open wounds, it's believed the blood belonged to Hiyoko. Semi-transparent glob. A strange glob that was stuck to where both music venue doors touch each other. Mikan's account. Right up until the Monokuma announcement that morning, Mikan was with Hajime the whole time. Not quite. We did separate for like 2 minutes. I got to watch the video without her, right? Afterward, she went to the hospital to check on everyone and realized that Ibuki had disappeared. When she rushed out of the hospital to search for Ibuki, she apparently met up with Fuyuhiko. Surveillance monitor video. The video that Hajime saw at the hospital. It shows a person dressed in a hospital gown wearing a hemp bag on their head as they willingly climb a stepladder toward a noose. Fuyuhiko's account. After Fuyuhiko met Mikan in front of the hospital, or hospital in this case, they split up to search for Ibuki. They checked the movie theater and Electric Avenue, but they didn't find anyone. Apparently Fuyuhiko and Mikan were only separated for a short time. Sonya's account. Hiyoko was distraught because her kimono was disheveled and she was unable to tie it on her own. That's when Sonya apparently told her about the full-length mirror in the music venue's storage room. Movie's invitation ticket. The invitation ticket prepared by Monokuma. One ticket was passed out per person, and the date it was passed out is printed on the ticket. This is my alibi. Monokuma's account. A Monami tote bag that was sold at the movie theater. It's a limited item because only one person can buy it. Apparently you get another bag for free when you purchase it. The Wizard of Monami, an excellent movie, in 2.5D no less, the movie that Monokuma directed. There were a total of 3 deaths in the movie. First, Monami Scarecrow died by hanging herself. Next, Monami Lion was pumped full of arrows. Finally, Monami Tin Man died by getting chopped into metal pieces. If we review the deaths in the movie, Monami Scarecrow had no brain and killed herself by suicide because she was told to. We can liken this to Ibuki, of course. She had no brain because she was gullible because of the disease, and she hung herself. Next, Monami Lion was pumped full of arrows. Monami Lion lost her courage, right? So that's supposed to be Akane, but Akane wasn't the one who died here. This time it was Hiyoko. And it's not even fully like the movie because she wasn't pumped full of arrows. She was tied to like a pole. In the movie, I think it was a tree trunk. In this case, it was a pole in the music venue. And she only had her throat slit. And Monami Tin Man died by getting chopped into metal pieces. That's definitely neither Hiyoko nor Ibuki. They're still intact. Monami Tin Man lost his heart. Is that supposed to relate to Nagito? 3 people got infected with the disease. We don't know anyone else who got infected by the disease. It was only those 3. Was it ever contagious? I wonder. Anyways. Well, to go briefly over the suspects, I've got Kazuichi, Sonya, and Mikan on our radar. Mikan because she was in the hospital the entire time. She could have been in the conference room, which I still suspect reenacted the hanging. We just don't have any proof for it. We didn't find anything when we went there. But, sorry, who was it again? It was Mikan. No, not Mikan. It was Chiaki who had an idea about the conference room. She went there to investigate. We have Kazuichi. He left as soon as we got to the music venue, claiming it was too hot. He could have actually gone back and tidied everything up. Maybe he didn't have time during the morning. We didn't see him in the morning. We only saw Chiaki and Gundam, meaning those 2 are exonerated from this crime. Thank God. They're like 2 of my closest friends now. And we've got Sonya. I found it weird that we found her in Hyoko's room, even though we had to unlock it ourselves. I don't know if that's relevant or not. Maybe it's an oversight by the game, or maybe she was not supposed to be in there, even though it was locked. Also, Hyoko's kimono has been tied, and you can see that her sash is tied exactly like Sonya's sort of tie. I can't quite explain what it is. Where is she? She's here. Right, that red ribbon over there? It looks exactly like Hyoko's sash, but you could explain that maybe Sonya taught her how to tie it like that. I don't know. Anyway, I've rambled it on enough. Let's finish our preparations and head on inside. Here we go, guys. Let's do this.
Now then, let's begin with a simple explanation of the class trial. During the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it.
Tied up Monami again.
If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person...
Oh, I'm all alone, and Hyoko's picture's so small as well.
I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island. Oh well, who cares about this boring explanation? Let's get on with it already!
That's right. I'm gonna find
I
out
don't
who
mind
killed
starting the
Ibuki
trial,
and
but
Hyoko.
I don't really have a grasp of how the case played out. You know, because I was asleep the whole time.
True.
Even if you do grasp it, you're just gonna confuse the heck out of us, aren't you?
But Nagito's not alone. I don't really get it either.
You're fine. Your head's empty anyway.
Kazuichi, do you want to get beat
Empty
up?
head? Huh. What's wrong with that? Listen up. The emptier your head, the more dreams you can stuff inside it, you know?
Kazuichi, what have you done?
Anyway, we shouldn't proceed with the trial if those two can't participate in the arguments.
Yeah, it wouldn't be fair, would it? And Nekomaru's not here as well, so we're down like another person who could participate, so how is this fair?
Since he's the first witness, why don't we ask Hajime to explain the incident and the sequence of events?
Oh boy.
Then, let's start with when we split into the hospital team and motel team because of the despair disease.
We're on the spot, but this will be a good refresher for us.
The hospital team consisted of Nagito, Ibuki, and Akane, who were infected, and Mikan, Fuyuhiko, and me.
The other 5 on the motel team were myself, Gundam, Kazuichi, Chiaki, and Hyoko.
Spending the night at the hospital was prohibited, so Hajime and I had to sleep at our cottages.
That's true.
I woke up at my cottage on the day the incident happened. Mikan came by to wake me up and told me that Nagito had recovered from his symptoms. We immediately headed over to the hospital, and after we confirmed his recovery,
I love the music and like this explanation. It just makes it so much more intense and cool.
I made Mikan rest in the on-call room, since she hadn't slept all night, while I waited in the hospital lobby. And then, I saw the incoming signal light on the surveillance camera blinking before our scheduled time. When I pressed the button to turn on the monitor, what appeared on screen was
The hanging.
a video of someone wearing a hospital gown and a hemp bag on their head, climbing a stepladder.
Amazing! That's such a heart-pounding story! And then what did you do, Hajime?
This isn't the kind of story we're gonna look back and laugh at, Nagito. Jeez.
I tried to stop them, of course. I rushed out of the hospital and ran to where the video was being recorded, the music venue. But it was too late.
Yuki was dead.
By the time I arrived, the person wearing the hemp bag on their head was already hanging from the ceiling. I thought I should tell the others right away, so I headed to the motel.
Why the motel?
Because it was close to the music venue, and unlike the hospital, there were more able-bodied people there.
Good point.
At least, that's what I thought. But the only person who came with me was Chiaki.
We did meet Gundam as well, but he stayed behind, supposedly to wake everyone up.
But I remember feeling a little relieved because not long after, we met up with Mikan and Fuyuhiko.
We were also looking for Ibuki since she disappeared from our sight.
After I rested for a bit, I started counting everyone at the hospital. And then I noticed Ibuki was gone, so I sprinted out of the hospital.
How long did you rest for? A minute?
Coincidentally, I ran into Fuyuhiko, so I pled with him in various ways to see if he could help me out.
Various ways. What?
Various ways?
Kazuichi agrees with me.
Don't say it like that and confuse people.
Oh, he's blushing.
After I
Yeah,
heard
see, I
from those
told
two
you
that
someone
Ibuki
looks like
disappeared,
Fuyuhiko.
I had a feeling she was the person wearing the hemp bag. So I immediately led them to the music venue.
But the door wouldn't open. Since we had no other option, the 4 of us broke down the door.
Yes, someone had locked it.
And when that happened, we didn't just find Ibuki's body. We also found Hyoko's.
Well, I'm suspecting that Hyoko was hidden behind another layer of wallpaper at the time, which is why we found that scrap of paper at the top.
And not just that. Her body was taped to a pillar.
Because the time window is just too small to kill her, put her up against that pillar, and lock everything up, right? You can't do that unplanned. There's too many variables.
That's when we heard the body discovery announcement. Not once, but twice in a row.
Confirming they'd both been killed.
And so we decided to lower the hanged body, didn't we?
When we removed the hemp bag, just as we feared, it was Ibuki.
So that's how the case played out. Thank you. I understood it very easily.
Well, it's clear what the problem with this case is. When Hajime left the music venue, who...
Wait, How do I know anything Hajime just said is true?
Here we go, this is it. I knew this was gonna happen. We're gonna be suspected of the murder, which is why we've got the movie ticket as an alibi, right?
Sorry, I'm only being impartial right now. And the story I just heard is clearly suspicious.
I mean, I can't blame him. I'd suspect me too. I was the first to discover the body. I was running around like all sorts of places.
Hajime, if you're the only one who saw the hanging video, and the first one to discover Ibuki's body,
That's true, no one else saw the hanging video as well.
then you could be lying as much as you want right now, right?
Lie? Why would I lie?
Obviously. So you could make us ignore what might be an inconvenient truth for you.
Do you doubt me?
If you're not lying, I would like you to prove it.
Okay. Bring
Come
it on.
Try to prove it to me. Prove you're not the killer.
Nagito and Hajime's like relationship is so awesome as well. I love the conflict there. It's just as Kazuichi said. Nagito's the kind of guy who'll just confuse us and make matters worse. Damn it! I shouldn't have explained it to Nagito. I'm in trouble now thanks to that. Here we go, let's prove our innocence. Okay, motel room key, thick scrap of thick paper, surveillance camera unit, surveillance monitor, video. Movie's invitation ticket. Let's go for this one.
Hajime's testimony is clearly suspicious.
If Hajime's testimony is a lie,
I'm not agreeing with
then
that.
the fact that Ibuki hung herself...
That would also be a lie.
I don't think I can deny that possibility. After all, Hajime's the only witness.
Why would
correct.
Hajime lie?
Well, obviously, because he's the killer.
Did Hajime kill both of them?
No.
The fact that the bodies were imitating the movie
There we go, that's my
means it probably is Hajime's fault.
proof. I've got it right here. I'm not the killer. There should be a contradiction somewhere. I need to find that and break through. I've got my ticket to freedom.
Hajime's testimony.
If Hajime's... Then the fact that
I paid
That would also-
$1.5 million
I don't think I can- after
for
all,
this
why would
to prove my
Well,
innocence,
obviously,
okay?
did Hajime...
The fact that the bodies were imitating the movie.
No, that's wrong!
I had no clue what the hell you guys were on about until I saw the movie.
I'm not the killer! I mean, there's no way I'd be able to imitate that movie.
Of course you're not. I already knew that.
You son of a bitch.
Huh?
Before the incident, Hajime had never watched that movie. His invitation ticket is proof of that.
But I see what he's trying to do, right? He's saying, Hajime's the killer? No, I couldn't have because I only watched the movie afterwards. And it's like, exactly. You only watched the movie afterwards, so you can't be the killer, but the killer had to have seen the movie.
Each person only received one ticket, and they're marked with a stamp that shows the date and time.
It's an unorthodox way to lead into his argument, but
Isn't that right,
I'm
Monokuma?
sure Monokuma loves it.
Yes, no mistakes there.
Which means there's no way Hajime, who never saw the movie, could commit murders that imitated it.
I mean, you could say, or you could argue here, to play devil's advocate, that I might have heard what the movie's contents were.
Or did
Yeah.
anyone
Oh, shit.
tell him what happens in the movie? Of course no one did, right?
There we go, Nagito's a step ahead of us.
Hold on a sec! You're the one who brought this up in the first place!
Nagito, what are you doing?
Well, since we're opening with your witness testimony, I thought we should solidify the foundation. It also provides a good warm-up.
Oh, I love Nagito so much as well.
What warm-up? This isn't a game, you know.
Don't get mad. I just think warming up is really important. Especially since this isn't a game.
Damn right, it's not. All our lives are on the line, and I need to find out who killed Ibuki.
What a waste of time. Well, I knew it would turn out like this anyway.
Now then, since we know Hajime's testimony is reliable, let us move on to the arguments.
I wouldn't call it a waste of time. He's right, it does solidify that my testimony is correct.
So this means Ibuki definitely climbed the stepladder all by herself, right?
Like I'm not full of shit and leading these guys astray.
Yeah, I'm positive.
Then that seals it! Ibuki committed suicide!
No, there's more to it than that. I know it.
If Ibuki committed suicide, then who killed Hiyoko?
A murder coincidentally occurring in the same place as a suicide. Ain't possible, huh?
Like I said before, It's pretty clear what the problem with this case is.
First, we need to figure out the timings of everything. When did everyone die? Well, everyone. When did Ibuki die, and when did Hiyoko die? And who could have gone into the music venue to lock it up? And where did they go afterward? Because there's no way out of that music venue. But if they used that glob to seal the door, then they couldn't... it's possible they weren't hiding in the music venue when we bust in there, right?
The killer murdered Hiyoko while Hajime was gone.
But I can't explain those drumsticks getting between the handles.
So all we gotta do is establish who could have possibly done that.
Then let's ask Hajime. How long would you say you were away from the music venue?
About 10 minutes, right? I think that's what he mentioned.
I couldn't have been gone for more than 10 minutes.
Yes.
So they killed Hiyoko and taped her up within 10 minutes? There's no way that's possible.
Exactly.
That's why the killer stalled for time by making the music venue a closed room.
That would have bought them like another minute at the very most.
What do you mean, a closed room?
The killer blocked the venue door from the inside to try and keep us from entering right away.
However, that door is the only entrance to the music venue, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they blocked the door from the inside, the killer would not have been able to leave either.
Unless they got something to close the doors, keep them locked by having it melt away in the hot temperature.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Which means, when we broke down the venue door, the killer was still inside.
I don't know, is that really true here? Think back to when we first discovered Ibuki's body. It was hot when we arrived, right? Wasn't it? The doors weren't locked then. They kind of put the blob there because we opened the doors. It would have just, you know, gone away. So they must have still been in there when we first arrived. Right? Oh, it's tough.
They were?
Ah, my brain's all messed up.
If that's the case, the only suspicious people are those who don't have an alibi for that time. And that's you two! Sonia and Kazuichi!
Oh, two of my suspects, no less.
Me too?
Sorry, I don't want to think either of you did it. Especially you, Sonia.
What the hell? Why's it gotta be us?
I can see Kazuichi killing someone for Sonia.
The others all have alibis. Chiaki, Mikan, Hajime, and I all broke down the venue door together. Gundam met up with Hajime at the motel right before that.
Yep.
And if Akane and Nagito were laid up in the hospital, the only person that leaves is one of you.
There's also Nekomaru technically, but we don't know what the hell's going on with him right now.
There's another person who doesn't have an alibi.
Yeah.
You know, Nekomaru.
Every time, Nagito. Seriously?
Me too!
How was that?
Hey, why are you talking like... Huh? You're kidding, right? You're not up to something weird, are you?
Is he watching the trial via Monokuma?
Please stop making bad jokes.
I can't see his portrait anywhere. It's not like it's lingered anywhere.
Anyway, if the killer was hiding inside the venue, we should obviously doubt the people who don't have alibis.
What a wicked way of backing us into a wall! Is this his professional skill?
He's not a lawyer by trade, I can assure you. The killer was inside the music venue? Fuyuhiko obviously thinks so, but is that really it? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't have an answer for this. I do not have an answer for this. Oh, the semi-transparent glob. This will probably help us out here.
The killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside, they tried to keep us from getting in.
These white noise, man, seriously.
It seems they were trying to stall for time.
How did they lock the door? That door should not have had a lock.
Did not. They had to wedge it shut.
The lock was on the floor in front of the door.
Are you talking about the broken drumstick?
You can use that as a bolt to lock the door. By doing that, the killer who was hiding inside waited till we gathered together and suddenly appeared.
Can't be.
So they looked like they had just rushed over. I have
Monomi's
seen this in serial crime
really
dramas.
Nah, no way that's possible. That person's remark contradicts the truth. I should be able to prove that with my evidence.
The killer was still inside the music venue.
Pretty sure
By
it's
locking
this,
the
right?
door from the inside.
It was locked from the inside, right? There's nothing to dispute that. Or... Hang on, let me just replay this debate one more time. Otherwise, I think it's Fuyuhiko's
They
fault.
tried to keep us from...
It seems they were trying to
How did they lock the door? That door should not have...
The lock was on the floor.
Are you talking about the broken...
You can use that as
Drumstick
by
was
doing
not the
that.
lock.
The waited till we get...
Okay,
and
it's
suddenly...
Fuyuhiko's testimony for sure.
I have seen this in serial crime dramas.
It wasn't locked from the inside, it was locked by wedging this glob between the doors. You
The
can do that
killer
from
was
the
still
outside.
inside the music by locking the door from the inside.
Right there.
No, that's wrong!
Right in the corner, away from that white noise. Okay, good. Good start here, good start.
Hold on a sec. There's also a possibility that the door was locked from the outside.
But the drumstick, I don't understand how that could have been... Oh, it would have just been smashed before and left on the floor, right? It was never used as a bolt.
From the outside? How?
There was a semi-transparent glob stuck to the venue door. Maybe that's what they used.
An adhesive.
Semi-transparent glob. Like rubber, maybe?
Wasn't rubber at all. That semi-transparent glob was probably... gummy? No, that's not... It's glue.
I see!
Yeah.
That semi-transparent glob must have been glue.
There's no way gummy is that strong to, like, hold the door together.
Glue?
In that storage room, there was a bunch of, like, maintenance stuff, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
It's just weird because it was green.
It had a firm, gel-like chewiness. And I could smell workshop chemicals the moment I put it in my mouth.
That's right, there was workshop chemicals as well.
Based on all that, I'm certain it was glue.
Thanks, Chiaki.
I didn't know glue was edible.
It's not advised,
I believe it is not something one typically eats.
nor sniffs.
That glue was only applied to the areas where both doors touched. By pouring it in the gaps of the closed door, they must have sealed the venue door from the outside.
Where did they dispose of the glue? You can't litter, right?
And thanks to that, a glob of glue was left where the door was stuck. Yep, it fits perfectly. But if you just stick them together with glue, you'd be able to break down the door easily, you know?
Didn't take much effort.
That doesn't really matter. The killer only did that to make us think the door was locked from the inside.
Good point.
What'd you say?
First of all, didn't that drumstick we found seem really obvious? Almost unnaturally so?
Well, not at the time. For
It
me.
was so obvious that it makes more sense to think the killer placed it as a diversion.
Chiaki's good.
Are you saying the drumstick was a trap the killer set on purpose? Then I totally fell for that fucking trap.
It's not your fault, man. The killer's just that smart.
Apologize to Miss Sonia. And me. However, you're not allowed to slice open your stomach this time.
It's
In a
too soon.
quarrel, both sides are to blame. That's why it's better to just have no sides at all.
So, during the
Let's screw
10
that.
minutes Hajime left the venue, the killer murdered Hiyoko and created a closed space?
No.
And they also taped her up after killing her, right?
Well, if it was just glue, then the heat doesn't really affect that, right? I guess the heat is just to throw off the time of death.
Even quick work has limits.
But would Mikan really turn the heat up to throw off the time of death? I mean, she would know about it, but she's supposed to give us an autopsy. Though I suppose that's an excuse why she can't give us an accurate time of death.
Oh, what unimaginable speed for a slowpoke like me.
If they couldn't have done it while Hajime was away from the venue, they must have done it earlier than that.
Yes. Earlier?
But when Hajime got to the venue, only Ibuki's body was there, right?
And when you went back with everyone else, Hiyoko's body was there too, right?
Yes.
But it's possible that the body was just revealed at that time, when Hiyoko was actually killed earlier.
It's like you know all of this. It's like it's as if you've done this before.
Just revealed?
You know all the tricks in the book, don't you, Nagito?
Of course, the body wasn't revealed on its own. The killer did that too.
That's why they had to wipe the blood away from the stage.
Here, I have proof.
That scrap of paper. Is that what we found in the baton lighting at the music venue?
That's right, but just what is this scrap anyway?
Like wallpaper, right? That scrap that was stuck on the baton lighting in the music venue. Now, I should be able to figure out what it is. Uh-oh. I hope it is. Is that the technical term for it? Yeah, it looks to be fine. Wait. Slow down. Good. Oopsies. I said slow down. Fuck. My bad. Slow this out. Oh, I should have shot that. My bad. Phew. Okay.
I got it!
Too fast for my own good there, but we got it. It is wallpaper, thankfully.
That's scrap. Isn't it part of the wallpaper in the storage room?
Yes.
In the music venue storage room, there should have been black wallpaper that's the same color as that scrap.
And it's the same wallpaper that's around that pole, right?
There was also a tear along the edge of the wallpaper,
The
wasn't
column.
there? If so,
You're right. If you overlay the scrap that was caught on the lighting with the tear in the wallpaper... See? It fits perfectly.
I see. So the scrap that was caught on the baton lighting was originally part of the wallpaper.
And what's wrong with that? Does it have something to do with Hyoko's body
The killer
disappearance?
still had to move very fast because they would have had to take down that wallpaper, shove it in the storage room, and get out.
A mere nobody like me isn't important enough to answer that.
Don't volunteer me, don't volunteer me,
But
don't
if you
volunteer
guys
me.
were exceptional enough to identify that scrap of paper, you can figure this out easily.
That scrap of paper stuck to the baton lighting was part of that wallpaper I found in the storage room. Is it connected to the sudden appearance of Hyoko's body? If I trace it back from there, the answer should become clear. Alright, let's give this a try. Let's do it! Okay, I should have a bit of an easier time for this one since we kind of already know the answer. Upping sensitivity for this. Oh, might have been too much. Whoopsies. Wrong controls already. Okay, let's do this. And let's just stick to the side. There we go. In and out, in and out. Oops. Man, I'm just too fast for my own good these days. I need to really slow down and think about things. Hopefully that applies to the trial as well. Question 1. Where did Hyoko's body suddenly appear at the sun at the... Oh, sorry. Why did Hyoko's body suddenly appear at the crime scene? It was hidden. It was hidden by the wallpaper. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Good. Speed it up, speed it up. Well, narrow passageways. Okay. Whee. What did the killer use to hide her body? The wallpaper. Go, 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 go. Nice. Let's just speed through this. I know I can brake, but we're good, I think. Jeez, we're really thinking hard here. Question 3. How did the killer hide her body with the wallpaper? They covered the pillar. Phew. Perfect score this time. Yay! Well, in terms of answering the questions, not in the actual dive itself. Why did Hyoko's body suddenly appear at the crime scene? It was hidden. What did the killer use to hide her body? The wallpaper. How did the killer hide her body with the wallpaper? They covered the pillar.
It's all coming together!
Good. Alright. Got that out of the way. Whew.
I got it. Hyoko's body was hidden before we found it.
But it would have taken quite a long time to tape up a hidden body.
That's why she was killed way earlier than expected.
No, the body was already taped up and the killer hid it, along with the pillar using the wallpaper.
What? They hid the pillar?
Not the pillar, they hid the body.
Yeah, by wrapping the wallpaper around the pillar, the killer was able to create a slightly larger pillar. So when I first discovered Ibuki's body, Hyoko's body was already there.
Oh, it's
However,
way skinnier.
because it was concealed within a slightly larger pillar, I didn't realize that at the time.
Very clever.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, It makes sense that you'd notice Ibuki's body right away.
Exactly, it's a great diversion to have us discover another body.
So they used the baton lighting on the ceiling to hang the wallpaper?
But why did they have to kill 2 people? That's the question as well, right?
The baton lighting forms a perfect circle around the pillar, so using it to hang the wallpaper totally fits.
Then, the reason the wallpaper was covered in so many stickers was to make it look like that pillar.
They covered it in more stickers?
That's how they hid Hyoko's body, and then peeled off the wallpaper as soon as I left the music venue.
That's why the pile of stickers was reduced.
But the killer made a mistake. They accidentally ripped off a piece of the wallpaper.
They really would have gotten away with it.
And because of that, a scrap was left on the baton lighting.
The killer must have been in a hurry. Their plan took too long. Hajime could have walked in on them.
Exactly. There was no way it was going to be perfect.
But going to the trouble of hiding the body and the pillar is very bold and risky.
Yes, why would you do it?
But the crime itself would be much easier to pull off since they don't have much to do while Hajime's gone. They just have to peel off that wallpaper and stash it in the storage room. It's not that big of a deal.
Then, when was Hyoko actually killed?
We have no idea.
Good point. And on that note, it's about time we shed some light on those imitation murders.
Okay.
You mentioned imitation murder more than once. But what is that?
It's not a perfect imitation, though.
Are you kidding me? You haven't seen my masterpiece? The Wizard of Monami 2.5D?
Did you give her a ticket?
Hey, don't put my likeness in your movies without my permission.
You're pretty noisy for someone who eats mothballs.
I don't eat mothballs. I just enjoy looking at them.
I knew it! There are so many
Those two.
similarities. It must have been intentional.
But it's not a perfect copy. Akane should have been the one who died, not Hyoko, right?
Ibuki's death by hanging matches the Scarecrow's death from the movie. Not just that, but Hyoko getting taped up after her death matches the lion's death.
But she wasn't stabbed with arrows.
It's as if
And
both
she's not
crimes
the
were
one who lost her
replicas
courage.
of scenes from the movie, although the mutilated Tin Man was omitted.
Because you can't kill more than 2 people.
But why did the killer go to all this trouble in the first place?
And why imitate the movie? I don't understand.
Based on what we know, the reason the killer chose these imitations isn't that difficult to figure out.
Really? The reason the killer imitated the 2 victims in that movie. I should be able to explain that now. To mix up the killing order?
I see!
The reason the killer imitated 2 of the murders from the movie was so he'd mix up the killing order.
That's a quick conclusion we've made. Like the Justice Hammers, right?
Then, Hyoko was actually killed before Ibuki?
Then... Ibuki said she was restless, she couldn't sleep, she was bored. She must have walked in on the murder.
A valid line of reasoning.
Oh no. No, if that's what happened, then I swear I'm going to kill
it's
this
valid.
killer.
The condition of Ibuki's body suggests that as well.
What do you mean? If you're going to cry and beg like that, then I guess I'll hear about the condition of Ibuki's body.
I'm not even crying.
I'm not liking where this is going, man.
I'll let you sob as much as you want later. Just hurry up and tell me before I change my mind.
What's up, Gundam?
What a jerk!
Oh, I see. You want me to explain it to you, right? Because you don't understand what I'm saying, right?
An even bigger jerk? Impossible!
Calm down, my 2 friends, please.
Look, Ibuki died because she hanged herself, right? That means when she was still alive, her feet were touching the floor.
What's wrong with that?
Because there was blood on the floor.
But it seems Ibuki was still standing when Hyoko was killed. That would mean Hyoko was killed before Ibuki.
How light. Your words are so light as the sylph's feather. Your opponent is out of your league. It is too absurd to try to perplex me so inadequately.
I thought you were going to show us your serious side, dude.
Man, he's being annoying again.
Hey, don't talk about him like that. He's just misunderstood, okay?
First and foremost, you claim Ibuki's feet were touching the floor when Hiyoko was killed.
Yes.
How can a low-class creature with no psychic abilities like you know something like that?
Is this going to be a bullet time battle / panic talk action?
Because she was doing something that's only possible if her feet were on the floor.
It seems you suffer from a pathetic delusion.
Calm down, Gundam, please.
You're one to talk.
Anyway, if this continues, we're just going to talk in circles. I think it's best if we clarify Ibuki's status when Hiyoko was killed. Oh, never mind, it's just a debate. I thought it was going to be a PTA, to be honest. Blood on the soles. Oh, it's already our default bullet.
When Hiyoko died,
Well, sensitivities.
Ibuki's feet were on the floor.
Yes, correct.
I am telling you to present your evidence.
Wow.
Did you see her walking?
If her feet were on the floor, was there any sign she stepped on something?
Yes.
Were there even any footprints at the crime scene?
Maybe her feet were on the floor. But she was like sitting or something.
Nope.
So
Yeah.
instead, there'd be a mark on her ass.
Weak, I say! It doesn't even pierce my heart!
It's Chihiro's. Chiaki said Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was killed, but is that really true?
When
We have
Hiyoko
to agree with
died,
Sonya here. When you're hanging, your feet
Ibuki's
are typically
were
not on the floor.
I am telling you to. Did you see her walk?
If her feet were on the floor, was there any sign she stepped on something?
Yes.
I agree with that.
Oh, so many callbacks.
Just as Sonya said, Ibuki stepped on something. That something was blood. There were faint blood stains on the soles of her slippers.
She must have walked in on the murder.
That is not Ibuki's blood, right? She suffered no external injuries.
Yes.
Then it's Hiyoko's blood!
Hiyoko's only wound was a fatal slice on her neck. And she died almost instantly, right?
Is that even possible? I don't even know. I'm not a medical guy. Sure.
If Ibuki stepped on her blood,
It means Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was mortally wounded. Which means Ibuki was still alive at the exact moment Hiyoko was killed.
Don't underestimate the power of the evil eye!
Uh-oh, the evil eye's upon us!
Is that it? A shepherd dressed in his Sunday's finest still reeks of lamb, Hajime Hinata.
Does that mean you have a rebuttal?
Does that mean you have a rebuttal? That's a good line.
You're welcome to take it.
But are you sure you're sure? If I show you how serious I am, this world might be destroyed, you know.
Don't go too hard at it then.
You're so frightened you can't even make a sound. It seems you've realized our difference in status. However, the time for conviction starts now. You better entertain me to the fullest.
All right. What are we going to be rebutting here? I have no clue. Rupees for hanging, Motorinki, scrap of thick papers. Jeez, that's a lot. The smudge on the floor. He's going to ask where the blood came from. If there was no blood, right?
You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet belonged to Hiyoko? Ha! Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no blood on the floor.
Allow me to cut through those words!
Oh, poor Gundam. I knew this like straight away.
That's not it. The reason there was no blood on the floor is because the killer wiped it away afterward.
I didn't even have to progress the conversation. Oh, Gundam.
Don't say such foolish things! You don't have proof of that at all!
There's a smudge on the stage, my friend. I'm sorry.
Yes, I do. If you look closely, there's a streak on the floor where blood was wiped away.
when the killer tried to hide Hyoko's body, they probably cleaned the blood at the same time, but Ibuki must have already stepped in it, and the killer probably didn't even realize it.
Why was she doing there? I've suspected that she discovered the body, but why is she standing in the pool of blood and the killer doesn't even realize?
The reason they wiped off the blood on the floor was so we'd mix up the order of the murders, right?
And also to cover up the fact that she was hidden behind the wallpaper.
Even if they're able to hide Hyoko's body, It'd be bad if her blood was left out in the open.
Yes.
Plus, Ibuki's body was left out in the open, and it wasn't bleeding from any open wounds at all.
Hyoko's body was probably wrapped in duct tape to stop her bleeding.
Yes, to stop more blood from coming out from behind the pillar.
Actually, the bleeding will stop once the heart stops beating. So I don't think they had to go that far.
But would they have known that? You're the expert nurse here, right?
Aside from Mikon, none of us
Yeah.
were aware of that fact. So the killer probably did not know it either.
Does that mean Mikon kind of done it?
Maybe the heater was running inside the music venue so it would screw with Mikon's autopsy?
Mm-hmm.
That's right! I didn't know the time of death because of the heater!
If the time of death wasn't mentioned in the Monokuma file just to keep concrete evidence from us.
Yep. Since we have all this evidence, there's no one else who wants to object, right? Then it's decided. Hyoko was killed before Ibuki.
Damn it. That's thrown a spanner in the works, hasn't it?